What is Hey You Guys a reference to?
Can you guess?
No, well, I'm asking.
Oh, you're asking.
We're having a debate.
Okay, the Goonies.
Okay.
Yeah.
He
I was
was
just
right.
freaking. I was like, you know this, right?
No.
But then we were talking about how
didn't.
it's like such a very particular, like there's like an age group that I assume that you're part of that, like myself, that I freaking loved that movie. It's like, it's so funny. It just like totally spoke to me as a young person. So I appreciate it.
Was that recording?
No.
Was that recording just then? It was. Oh, there we go. That's good. Then we can add that to the roster. With so many people.
It's genuine, honestly.
And I will say, I didn't watch it till I was a young adult, so it just.
It's a classic.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding me. I love it.
So good. We have a whole roster of A-listers saying, "Hey, you guys."
Yeah, exactly.
That's always fun.
Well, you can have Jason also.
Yeah, we can have Jason as well.
A-listers and Jason.
A+ listeners.
All right, we're
All right,
focused.
now it's your turn.
Moana 2.
Congratulations on Moana 2.
Oh, thank you.
As now an uncle of two young niece and young nephew, the impact of the first film is just absolutely extraordinary.
Yeah.
Coming on to the second one, did you kind of had to put that to one side and go, we're going to focus on the thing that we're doing? Because it's just become, in the last sort of 10-ish years that it's been around, it's kind of been all-encompassing.
I mean, when I worked on the first film and when it came out, we knew it was fantastic. I think the staying ability is something that was new to us, even as we were starting working on this. You know, Moana, we knew was an amazing character, obviously an amazing world, Maui and Moana together. But as we were working on it, that's when all those sort of numbers about like the streaming, like the #1 streamed movie started coming out. So that was actually new information to us, but it was obviously wind in our sails for this one because it was so like to know that the fans loved it as much as we do. And we were making a film that was really and truly a love letter to the first film, but still brings them on a new adventure. It happened to work out really good, actually. So,
and I think what people might be surprised to hear is that Disney Animation doesn't do a lot of sequels, and so they're not jumping into the sequel game just to do it. Really, we waited until there was a story worth telling for Moana, until we'd figured it all out. And so I think that kind of helped give us confidence moving forward with this film, because we are also fans of Moana. We watched the film over and over again, and we wanted to make sure we were telling a story worthy of this heroine that we love so much. And it's really nice that people still love her 8 years later, since we have a sequel coming out. We want everyone to go see it in theaters.
Yeah, exactly. It seems to also be one of those films. Obviously, there was lots of films during COVID that obviously everyone was at home and thing, but it seemed to be one of the films that everyone just kept. It's like, it's pretty dark outside. Everything's going. Let's just watch Moana.
Right.
Nice COVID film. It is one of those films, I think. But going into the sequel, obviously, it's been reworked from what it was initially going to be. In terms of you guys coming on at this, what stage was it at, and where was the decision made to kind of go from a series into a feature film?
The other director of the film, Dave Derrick, called me, and actually we started working on it together. And that's when it was a series, and we were telling a story that was going to take place over 5 episodes. And so it has the bones of what we are actually doing now. I mean, we always talk about that we can't even remember what exactly it was like as a TV series, because we knew for a while that it was going to be a feature. It just it sort of begged, and just that it was destined to be up on the big screen, this kind of story it is, and just the visuals that we actually can do at Disney Animation. It really wanted to be on the big screen. So from that point forward, it's just really the hard work of making a story work. And that's, when Dana came on, that was like that was the missing component that we had. Jared Bush, along with her, wrote an incredible script for this, and we all been working together to make this film.
Was it true? Did you always have, if it was going to be a series? I know very late in the day that they announced, obviously Dwayne and Alihi were coming back. Was this going to be? Because I know Disney before have done offshoots where Tom Hanks' brother does the voice of Woody or all those kind of things. Or was it going to be?
No, never.
It was going to always going to be them coming back regardless of what it was.
That was like one of the #1 things. We did not want to do that without them. It just the animated version of this film just absolutely had to have both of them.
They're so good. Now we're talking about this over the last couple of days, seeing Dwayne Johnson with hair in the live action. Yeah. Which is, I don't think we've ever seen Dwayne Johnson with hair in anything that he's done, apart from that terrible photo he took when he was like 18. But in this one, I mean, having those two come back, I mean, it is, as you say, it's kind of the core of the series. What was it about those two characters for you guys in terms of the first film and then coming into the second one that made you want to kind of tell another story and kind of expand on the world? And even with Alihi, Moana, should I say, growing up a little bit and more of a woman, if you like.
I mean, There's so much within that question that I could talk about forever. I would say
We've got lots of time. So
It's
please
like,
do.
yeah, I
We've
know.
got loads of time. It's all good.
No, but I think one of the relationships that I was so interested in was the relationship between Maui and Moana. In the first film, she really cracks into the shell of this like incredibly defensive demigod who doesn't have any friendships really and truly. And so the fact that by the end of that film they are true friends, I found so interesting, and I kept wanting to come back to that relationship. I wanted to make sure in this film that we were having all of the fun that we had with them in the first film, that dynamic between them where they like care about each other but are constantly bickering and seeing the world in different ways. Like that had to be in this film. But I was also so curious about this demigod who now suddenly cares about a very vulnerable human being, and what would happen to that friendship when they were up against the highest stakes possible in the midst of a monster storm. And I remember talking to Dwayne about it, and it was something he could really relate to, and he was so game to take Maui to these new emotional places. And I think because we pushed on that friendship and we pushed into the emotional depths of that friendship, that we take this movie to some surprising places that I hope fans are really excited to see.
You also have I guess it is pressure in terms of the soundtrack for the first one. Again, like the film is just, it's probably on everybody's Spotify list at some point in the day.
Of course.
How Far I'll Go will come on or something when they're in a rain. I don't know where they are walking. But in terms of the music for this one, you've got another fantastic lineup of people. When they came to you with the music and you started to hear that, did that just add another layer to all the story you were going to tell? And maybe even more so than you anticipated?
It's such a huge part of what the film is having the story told through the songs. And the first song that we heard that, Abigail and Emily came in and played was We're Back. And it literally sort of like put a flagpole and says, we are actually back into the world of Moana because it's music. And then you add in, Opataya Foa'i and Mark Mancina. They bring all their incredible music into that sort of reconnects it back to the original film as far as the soundscape goes. It's so special. We're so lucky that we found these songwriters. They absolutely blow us away every day with this music they would bring in. And to have them bring a demo is like a very, very special day. It's like a gift.
It's a good day at work.
It is a good day at work.
Yeah. I wanted to ask about Dwayne. Obviously, there's mini Maui on his chest, right? How much input does he have into that particular character, or is that an animator's kind of play field? Because I can imagine if it's part of him that he might have a little say in it, but also because he doesn't speak.
Yeah,
it's just a sort of animator's thing.
I've never gotten that question.
I know
before.
it is the first time.
But I'm glad we are talking about Mini Maui because once again that team is led by Eric Goldberg, who's a Disney animation legend, and this like new team of 2D animators.
Yeah.
But part of the process when we're making Mini Maui and building this all together is a combination of the tone and nuance that Dwayne brings into the recording booth, and then we give that to the CG animators who start animating Maui, and then it really becomes a back and forth conversation between the CG animators and the 2D animators to find all of the depth and the humor in that performance. And I think all of those three things in combination is what makes the performance so interesting and compelling.
Yeah, it's incredibly complicated to do it, but it's so fun when it works out right. Like there's, the timing that's involved between a reaction between the two of them is so specific, and it has to be down to the frame for it to really work correctly. So it's just so much fun. That's like one of my favorite aspects. I love hand-drawn animation, obviously. I love the Disney films that did that, but I'm so proud of the work that we're doing combining those two things together.
We might have driven some hand-drawn, some 2D animators a little crazy, going back and forth of like...
I think we did.
One frame this way, one frame that way. Like that's how tight a joke can be sometimes.
Yeah.
One less frame, and then no, that doesn't work either. Some dirty looks at lunch.
I've always loved watching kind of the B-roll of Robin Williams doing the genie in Aladdin back in the day, and it was such a big deal that no one of his ilk had done an animated film, and he gave them probably did weeks of material that they could use. For you as directors, what's it like watching actors do vocal work, and what do you think it is about that particular skill that draws them? Because they don't always get to necessarily do it.
I think it's actually a really particular actor whose charisma and just their ability to portray the emotion comes through specifically their voice. And between Ali and Dwayne and our new cast members, David Fane, Rose Matafeo, newcomer Hua Lai Chung, it's so rare to actually have that work. So it's a real pleasure. And then our editors they craft these performances. Each one of these actors is all, recorded separately. And then we kind of build that performance through our editorial process. And then our animators work on it from there. So it is complicated, but when it works, it's just incredible, and it just takes a lot of time. And luckily, we have some of the best people doing in our cast that really can bring these characters to life.
I guess with sequels as well, because they've done it once before for those two particularly.
Yeah,
it's like second nature.
Oh my gosh, it was so amazing to hear them step up to the mic for the first time and just hear those characters. You never quite know exactly what it's going to be. Are they going to have that same magic? And instantly, for both of them, it was right there. It's amazing.
I always feel like when I watch a film like this, Disney animation, that you guys are cheating somehow, because the landscapes and everything just look too photorealistic. I feel like there's got to be some cheating going on here, but it's not. But
it's not.
How does they push the envelope so much? What's it like for you guys as filmmakers seeing that come to life? Because I imagine some of it you're just like, how have you managed to do this?
Yeah, I sometimes still think that. I will say, we have this monster storm in the third act of Moana 2, which means that our crew, Moana and her crew and Maui, are all on the ocean for the last 20 minutes of this film. And in the midst of a storm that has tornadoes and God lightning. It's really intense. And when we first pitched this to our crew, that was the day they loved us the most.
We have no idea how they're going to do that. How we're going to do this is what they told us. They literally were like, "We're not sure if we can actually do this." But
it was really incredible to see different departments collaborating to try to figure out how to build these rigs for this tornado, how to make sure that we were interacting with the water in a way that we could actually finish the movie on time, because it's so labor intensive. But I remember there's a moment, I don't want to spoil it. There's this one incredible shot at the end of the storm where a lot happens in a single shot. And I remember the first time that our visual effects team brought that shot in and showed it to us, because it's something that we had all been talking about for a really long time, didn't know how we were going to pull off. And the first time they showed it to us, I think you and Dave were somewhere else at the moment. And I was in there with the team, and I was so blown away that I ran out into the middle of the building and just started collecting people. You don't work on the movie, I don't care. You have to see this, because you always say it, it's a magic trick when you can really make animation just sing.
Man, we're so lucky that this team makes such a beautiful film, because I think that is actually, you were talking about it being a COVID movie for the first Moana. Yeah. I think it is really because it's just the natural beauty of this film is incredible. So even something like the monster storm that Dana was talking about, we always called it a strange beauty, the color palette, and that comes from our artists, our art directors that come in and do these color keys that paint a single image to give the feel for what that is, and then our incredible team just brings that to life. It is so special, and we were blown away daily when we would see these shots.
The live action team have a job to do in recreating it all, because I don't know how they're going to do it. I do not know, but we'll see how they go.
Yeah,
they're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah. Oh, good. That's good. I look forward to seeing that, guys. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys.
Hey you guys.
Hey, you guys.
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys.
Hey You Guys.